I mean, if it's like $1 million, I'm like, yeah, I can. Yes, I can.
Hello. Okay, we're back. All right, we're doing takeaways from what we just read and having a great time. So, Mike, you wanted to share something about one of your takeaways.
I did. I really enjoyed talking about the burning desire.
Yes.
It's really something that you have to have that really gets you fired up.
So you stated, what's one burning desire that you have in your life?
One burning desire I have in my life is to rescue kids.
Yes.
So it's totally unrelated to what I do as a profession, but I really think that there's a lot of children out there who need to be rescued from a lot of different things, whether it's sex trafficking, whether it's just having a good home to be in. One of the things that when my wife and I started going through the foster parenting process is that every child deserves a good home.
Yeah.
They really do.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of kids out there who don't.
Yes.
So
we hear the horror stories in the paper, but there's a lot of them that are right in our backyard.
Exactly.
That, we feel like we don't even know about them.
Right. And so that's that burning desire for us is to rescue kids.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maddie, do you have a burning desire?
Do I have a burning desire?
Or what stood out for you for this book?
Oh, as far as the takeaways, I would say my biggest one is just the need for constant review.
Yes.
I do things where I'll sit and I'll review, but I don't write it down. I don't make it tangible. I just sit and like, I could do this. And it just kind of falls out my head without really concentrating, okay, why did I do this? Why did I think it's right? Why do I think it's wrong? That kind of thing. And so I think this book will kind of help me do that more, especially with reviewing it every single month. Encouraging me to review it every single month. I feel that it will make me just better at just having that constant review, so it won't seem so ominous, it won't seem so difficult. It'll just be a routine for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's repetition is key. And that's one of my takeaways. But yeah, so I wrote down definitely the deep driving desire, right? And that's funny. The other thing I wrote down was repetition. I'm like, I made a note of that. It's like, and a friend of mine was talking about redundant processes. It's like, and what I was thinking about was that the woman who kept reading over the same insurance policy. It was the same insurance policy that she's reviewed, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of times. It didn't change. But I know from doing other similar things, and I didn't do it on every case, but in that almost rote or repetitious type of learning, I somehow became an expert in one little part of the tax code. And it's like, wow, that's really true. And then I could cite specific lines with other people, and they're like, well, how did you know that? I'm like, well, it's right there, this point, that point, that point. And they're like, oh my gosh, that's wild. But I've gotten away from that. And so I know by doing this, especially with this work, and gaining new relationships and just improving our communications with other people, that's what it's all about anyway, I forget I get to practice that way, right? I do it in other areas like my steps, right? I try to get my daily step goal, right? It's like, all right, everybody, they say 10,000, I got to do more, right? But that's key things. Any other big takeaways? There was some great points.
I did also appreciate when he talked about that we are doers. And I think that might have been like number 3 or 4. Anyway, it was talking about where having the knowledge isn't enough, that we have to actually get out and do these things and practice these principles we're about ready to learn with this book. And so that was really a huge thing for me.
Yeah, apply these principles at every opportunity.
There you go, yep.
Use this volume as a working handbook to help you solve your daily problems and really apply it.
Yeah, and apply it.
Right. It's not just one area of life. It can be anywhere.
Yeah. exactly.
Absolutely. Maddie, any other burning desires for you?
Yes. Burning desire.
Or, sorry, see?
No,
any other
no.
takeaway? Any
No.
other burning desire takeaways?
You
Guess what's...
asked me my burning desire, so I guess I have to... No. Actually, I really do... the favorite part I love to do as far as my job goes is education and just to educate people. And so I'm excited for this book as far as education goes, just so I can be able to reach more people. And whatever I say in my message will get across to more people. And I'll be able to connect more people and help more people. So that's what I was thinking about, just reading these 9 steps. But there was one that, where is it? I know there's so many.
Oh, the little cheat sheet was at the end.
Oh, it was?
Well, the 9, so the A.
Oh!
Yeah.
That's another thing. I mean, I already said write it down, but underscore each important idea. I'm terrible because I have this thing of, since elementary school, it was like, don't write in the books.
Right.
And so whenever I have books, it's so hard for me to write in them, but I have to constantly remember that I'm not giving this back to my first grade teacher, that it's mine.
I paid for this. I own it.
Well, and interesting that you point that out, because when you're writing in the books, you're not only writing the things that you agree with, but I've got a mentor friend of mine who, when he reads the books, he actually even writes in the things that he wants to argue about. So he writing in the notes no, or whatever.
I totally disagree.
Wrong.
But it's or just his own thoughts.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The one thing I'm not sure is about, this lively game, it might not be a dime, it might be like a penny. In the beginning, that's a little...
Well, now you got to keep in mind, this was written back in the 30s, the 1930s. So a dime or a dollar was a whole lot more than it is. So it really should be it's
got to hurt.
a
Yeah, I was about
Dixie,
to
a $10
say.
bill. It should probably be a C note.
No. See, it's got to
That's
hurt.
one
It's
that
gotta
your friend
sting.
would write in there and be like, I disagree.
That's
No.
right. Put a C note in there.
The biggest thing would be
Benjamin?
Yeah.
You kidding me?
if they probably took away a chocolate bar from me, then I would probably be more affected than
So
if they
then
took
use the
away
chocolate
money.
bar.
Yeah, so we'll just use the chocolate bars in my office. Just take it away.
Well, guys, thank you. Thank you for those takeaways. And thank you, everyone, for listening out there. So we do this book club after IKAGG and other places around St. Louis as much and as often as possible. And we don't like to just say it's a book club. It's a book practice, because we're putting these principles into practice, not just for our benefit, but for the benefit of all those around us. So, guys, thanks for doing this with me today. Wasn't this fun?
It was
fun.
Was this cool or what?
Good stuff.
Do you
Good
encourage
stuff.
more people to come here and be with us, or what?
Yeah, no, good stuff.
So, all right, every Thursday at Canoli's in Florissant after IKAGG. IKAGG is 11:30 to 1 o'clock. Have some lunch. It's pretty inexpensive and pretty tasty, but you get to network with some great people and then stay afterwards for, half hour, 45 minutes, and boom, you leverage yourself up and those around you. So if you're into that, come join us. Thanks for listening. And again, we may not see you in person, but we'll see you on social media. Thanks for listening. Yay! Okay, we do that,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really
It's this cool modern technology.
What's
This is Spreaker.
Oh, that's right.